Good morning, just after 6, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM at 710 KEEL, and back today with local stuff in a second or two. Here's Erin.
Memorial Day killing in the Blanchard community. We'll talk more about that. It's a big day for saggy britches. We'll have that coming up, too. And the fetal heartbeat bill gets an airing out today in the Louisiana House.
Speaking of droopy drawers and saggy britches, and it's so odd to attach such a silly little moniker to something that's turned out to be so serious. They did have their work session on Friday. We'll give you an update. Won't you?
Oh, yeah.
I knew you would. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's here this hour, and it's coming up on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
A Shreveport man arrested in a domestic homicide. 19-year-old Brandon McLaughlin arrested for allegedly shooting a man to death in Blanchard. According to sheriff's deputies, James Gagner and his girlfriend were arguing at a home during a party. The domestic disagreement allegedly angered McLaughlin, who grabbed a gun, fired a shot into a mattress to break up the argument. Gagner and McLaughlin then allegedly got into a physical altercation that ended with Gagner being shot and killed. McLaughlin is now charged with manslaughter. Shreveport City Councilwoman Lavette Fuller will officially start her push to repeal Shreveport's sagging pants ordinance. It will go through its first reading today at the City Council. A final vote expected to come in 2 weeks. The proposal expected to draw a large crowd both for and against keeping it on the books. Webster Parish woman indicted for stealing from a summer feeding program. We get details from Matt Parker.
Myrna Quarles, former director of Greater Horizons Developmental Services, has been indicted by a federal grand jury for allegedly stealing more than $1 million from a summer feeding program for kids. According to U.S. Attorney David Joseph, Quarles inflated program numbers and moved large portions of the program's funds into personal accounts. Quarles faces more than 30 different charges that carry up to 20 years in prison each. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Senate has approved a bill that would allow a parish-by-parish vote on the legalization of sports betting. It will be heard today in the House Appropriations Committee. Currently, the bill calls for the activity at racetracks and casinos, but video poker interests are hoping to expand that. Metairie Senator Danny Martini says that can't happen.
We would have gone from 20 venues to 2,800 venues, which is not going to happen,
A companion bill to tax the activity proposes a 13% tax rate. The fetal heartbeat abortion bill is expected to be heard in the House today. Senator John Milkovich has proposed the bill. The governor says he will sign it, but there is a provision in Louisiana law that keeps it from going into effect until the Mississippi law is ruled constitutional. And now a federal judge has blocked that Mississippi law. Shreveport firefighter hurt battling a blaze. According to reports, the firefighter suffered first-degree burns to his hands and shoulder while grappling with a house fire on Grantberry Place. Someone in the home was also moderately hurt. Firefighter's wounds said to be minor. He is expected to make a full recovery. 9 people arrested at a weekend checkpoint. Bossier deputies made contact with over 450 people while conducting a sobriety checkpoint on Old Minden Road in Bossier. 6 people were arrested for DWI, 3 others arrested on various charges, including drug possession and flight from an officer. The Army Corps of Engineers announces it will open the Morganza Spillway in Point Capee Parish. Governor John Bel Edwards on why they need to open the floodway structure for the 3rd time in history and the first since 2011.
We've actually had more rain in the lower Mississippi Valley than they've ever recorded before, and we've had more days of the Mississippi River being at flood stage than ever before.
The governor is also requesting federal assistance due to the ongoing threat of flooding across the state. Louisiana's health department says they will now track all HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis C test results. The department says there's an overwhelming number of people who test positive for those diseases in the state and should be properly tracked. Another win for James Holzhauer on Jeopardy! He's now up to $2.1 million in just 28 days, about $325,000 shy of Ken Jennings, who got to more than $2.5 million in more than 70 days. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic time for Tuesday. Here's Ruben.
Looks like 3132's got it all clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near I-49 south due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot for us on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in about 10 days.
Just saw you on Friday.
I know when I saw you last, if I focus, if I really try to,
It was the crawfish eating contest.
if I put the electrodes on my temples.
You were dead last, by the way.
Yeah, but I enjoyed every last one of those little.
Yeah, you did.
You've seen the photo, right? You saw my Last Supper photo.
Yes.
It's literally, there were maybe 15 local celebs.
Right.
In the crawfish eating contest, which was this past Friday morning at about 11:30.
Go Jay Watley. Our Jay Watley defended his
Festival
crown.
Plaza. Yeah, but he has a perforated intestine this morning.
He does, yeah.
Because, I mean,
he's going to be at the urologist later today.
I'm not sure the intestine has anything to do with urology.
Well, he's got a problem there, too.
Oh, my gosh. Should have chewed more.
Sounds like a rough week I missed out on.
With Watley, it's always a rough weekend. So tell us about your vacation. What was the high point, the apogee, if you will, of your wandering into the
That's world travels.
into the desert there, Moses?
Well, it wasn't the desert, just kind of the backwoods of the South. But I did enjoy having fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches. That's always
Wait, but before you did something that everybody, when I told them what you did, everybody I said this to said, man, I'd love to do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, well, you could, you just never do. Uh-huh. You literally got in your truck and started driving.
Yeah, I didn't have a plan, really. I just kind of, let's just
Okay, so day one, you headed kind of northeast into Mississippi.
Northeast, went through Arkansas, got to Tennessee, turned down the Mississippi, and just kind of drove around some of the backwoods there.
And what was
you
the best
didn't even get on any freeways, did you?
Well, I was on the interstate for part of the trip, just because it's
So what
quicker.
did you find that was awesome? You were threatening to go to the Jerry Lee Lewis house.
I did go to Jerry Lee's, but
was he home? Did you say hi?
He
Speaking
was
of
home.
perforated intestines.
Well,
The windows wouldn't open, Robert.
funny story. You see, you can book a tour at Jerry Lee's house, but it's literally Jerry Lee's house. He lives there, so it's sort of up to his discretion. So I pull up to the gate. There's for a private tour, call this number. So I call the number, and a guy, he's like, I'll be right out. So he comes out, opens the gate. I pull in.
You're the only one there.
I'm literally the only
It's
one.
Jerry Lee Lewis's house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the tour starts at 10, 11:30. It starts every hour and a half through 3 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
And it turns out the gentleman that let me into the gate was Jerry Lee Lewis III, and he's like, "Sorry, we're not accepting visitors this morning. We're not ready for company."
Bed's not made.
I guess Jerry wasn't willing to get out of bed. He's 85 years old.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth the $500 or whatever he was going to make.
Does he get up for every tour and visit everybody?
Sometimes he's there. Sometimes he goes, I guess, to a different part of the property.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
How much is the private tour?
I think it's $40, $45.
Okay, I thought you said $500.
No.
Well, if there's 20 people, it could be a lot of money.
It's 15. It's a maximum of 15 people at a time
Lunch
on the tour.
included?
Man.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. They give you a give you a little feather duster and a
Oh,
vacuum.
my goodness.
Clean Jerry Lee's house. Only $200.
Was it a cool house, though?
Oh yeah, it's kind of. The weird thing is, it's on a back road in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, Nesbitt, Mississippi to be exact.
Nesbitt,
Mississippi, in DeSoto County, and you know how you always hear that Mississippi is the poorest state in the country.
Sure.
All the money in Mississippi has to be in that little area.
Oh, rich area.
But, compared to Graceland, Jerry Lee's house is a shotgun shack.
So Mississippi, from there, you went where?
That was on the way. I stopped there on the way back to Louisiana. But
Blues Hall of Fame.
Hit when I was in Memphis. I stopped by the Blues Hall of Fame.
He sent me a bunch of awesome pictures.
Well, here's the thing. If you really pay attention, Shreveport music's everywhere. Our music history, on the radio, the number one song in rock radio right now is Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Blue and Black. They did a new version.
Yeah, a remake, yeah.
We got, when I went into the Blues Hall of Fame, literally the first thing you see is a giant portrait of Leadbelly with his bow tie and some picks.
That's the first thing you see?
Literally, you walk down the stairs to go through the exhibit, and the first thing you see is a giant picture of Leadbelly.
Why is that not here?
Well, hold on. As you work your way through, It's all Shreveport stuff. I mean, you got Lowell Folsom, who we play stuff from in our bumper
here.
music.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff. One of the music bumpers we play is an old blues guy named Lowell Folsom who recorded here.
Right.
And in fact, the cut we play was recorded here. We put all those in after Mr. Stan Lewis passed away.
I'm so glad Memphis is making all that money off of Shreveporters.
But I mean, you read the bio of those artists, and you see Stan Lewis's name, you see KWKH, you see all these Shreveport references, and it's like, what the hell? And then I went and, when I went to go get my fried peanut butter and banana sandwich, you walk into the diner that I went to, and there's a giant portrait of Elvis sitting on a couch with James Burton. And then on the jukebox, it's a Jerry Lee Lewis song that was written by Jared Kennedy, who's from Shreveport,
guy.
and was put out on a record label that's owned by another Shreveport guy, Shelby Singleton.
Oh my
so, I
goodness.
mean, everywhere you looked, it was just Shreveport music everywhere.
You're writing this up, right?
It's already on the website, KEELnews.com.
Save it for later, maybe 7 o'clock hour. We'll have you read it. That sounds awesome.
Man.
Okay, so saggy pants. They had the work session on Friday.
Yes, they did.
Did it get a little heated? Nobody
yes,
likes
it
heated
did.
saggy drawers.
Yes, it did.
Cover it when we get back. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update now from Ruben.
Looks like 3132's got it all clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near I-49 south due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
.7 FM, 710 Keel, Tuesday morning sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The NCAA unveiled their field of 64 for the College World Series pursuit. The LSU Tigers will be hosting a regional in Baton Rouge starting on Friday when they take on Stony Brook at 6 o'clock in Alec Box Stadium. Yes, Stony Brook, the team that beat LSU in the Super Regional back in 2012. They are back, though, as a 4 seed in this regional. Other squads making up the 4-team set. Southern Miss and Arizona State will start the regional Friday at high noon. Arizona State started the year by winning every game they played for a while, about 17 up, 17 down. They also come into this game, or this regional, leading the country with 92 home runs, and they also have 2 players nominated for the Golden Spikes Award. The Golden Eagles are making their 4th straight NCAA regional appearance. Former captain Shreve Gator standout Brant Bowen was named to the all-tournament team for Southern Miss in the Conference USA postseason soiree as a DH. Skylar Mays will return to LSU for his senior season of basketball. The Tigers' 3rd leading scorer last year was a first-team academic All-American. CBS Sports also reports that Marlon Taylor will also return, joining Javonte Smart back in Baton Rouge. Tremont Waters and Naz Reid both have announced they will not be returning. That leaves Emmett Williams as the lone player who had declared early for the draft, who has not made his intentions known ahead of tomorrow's deadline. In the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Boston scored 4 unanswered goals after falling behind 2-0 at home to claim a 4-2 win over the Blues to get Game 1 under their belts. Major League Baseball, the Astros beat the Cubs 6-5. Garrett Cole, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Yuli Gurriel, 3 hits. Alex Bregman, 2 hits for the Astros. And the Rangers fall to Seattle 6-2. Daniel Vogelbach hit a third-decker home run for the Mariners in the win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Okay, work session Friday. Shreveport City Council work session, and that was where sort of the Lavette Fuller proposal to repeal the saggy pants bill sort of was introduced. What was the feedback? What was the blowback? Was there yelling, the throwing of things? Was the denim flying?
It was, there were a lot of people that came forward saying it's about time. I anticipate this is going to pass pretty easily. They got into a big heated discussion about, oddly enough, the time limit on speakers, because they're extending time for some speakers. And
there's so many. Look.
So they gave everybody 5 minutes instead of 3.
Oh my God, they were there till midnight.
I don't know how long it lasted. I couldn't go the whole thing. I watched much of it, but I couldn't do the whole thing. It was a lot of people that said, we will be back Tuesday. We will be back at every meeting.
Meaning today.
We want fair treatment. We want to be treated fairly in this city. And, now
let's go back a little bit. Remember now, this bill was passed, what was it, in 2007?
Right.
When you had Cedric Glover as mayor, and it was introduced by an African-American councilman, Calvin Lester. Mm-hmm. So obviously maybe the tide has turned. I mean, was there this much of an outcry? 2007, we were on KVKI. We didn't pay a lot of attention to this stuff, other than it was a big deal.
Yeah, at the time,
I mean, not the nuances like we are now.
At the time, it was more about appearance, that you look trashy, and we don't want you to look trashy. It wasn't about But, there's a little...
has the zeitgeist of our city changed?
It was kind of like, you remember when we did the pajama thing? We don't want pajamas in Walmart? We didn't pass that, but we discussed that. But there's a little known provision in this measure that just nobody's really focusing on. Hang on.
In the new one? In
the ban. That you cannot use this alone to stop someone. And I'm gonna find the ordinance and read it to you.
That's very that
because that's what they do all the time. It's what the chief acknowledges.
Imagine, there is a city ordinance against speeding. Mm-hmm. Imagine if within that ordinance that says you can't speed, and if you do, you can be stopped by the police.
Right.
If there was a caveat to that, if there was a little...
Well, when we first passed the seatbelt law, you couldn't stop somebody just because they weren't buckled up. That was part of the law. That can't be the only reason you stop them. And you had to find that out after you stopped them for something else. So we've done that kind of thing before. And I'm going to find the verbiage and I'll read it to you later, but it has some verbiage in it that says that cannot be the reason for the police interaction. And I'm thinking, well, that sure seems to be the reason for the interaction in a lot of cases. And I may be wrong.
There has been social media criticism of this measure by former Mayor Cedric Glover. But let me be clear what he said. What he said is, we've got big problems in this city. Is this what we're going to spend our time on?
Right. And that was my question.
Read between the lines. Is this what we're going to waste our time on? Do you think to a great degree, that's what the former mayor is saying?
Absolutely. And then that was my point to Lavette Fuller. Of all the things we need to be tackling now, is this at the top of the list?
Former mayor, and I find this interesting, when former Mayor Glover is critical of maybe the timing of this measure, is it interesting to you, because it is to me, that he never says whether or not he still supports the measure or not? Because he signed off on it in 2007.
And I did send a formal request, Wednesday or Thursday, to current Mayor Perkins and his communications director, asking for his statement. How does he feel about this? Does he support repealing this ordinance? And I have not gotten a response from him, which I find, to be quite honest.
You sent it Friday. It was the holiday
No, I
weekend.
didn't send it Friday. I sent it Wednesday or Thursday.
No.
Yes, because I wasn't here Friday. I wasn't here for long Friday. I sent it to them Wednesday or Thursday. I'll look and see.
Check and see.
Maybe
Thursday.
But my issue is, you're the leader of this community. You need to take a stand on this. You need to say how you feel. You need to come out and say, we don't need to be legislating how people dress. That's what I would anticipate him saying.
Or does it serve him better politically, as it does a lot of local African-American leaders, not to have a public position on this at all?
No, I disagree.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, traffic update, local news just ahead. Here's Ruben.
Looks like 3132's got it all clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near I-49 south due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Now,
Damage assessments. The ordinance repealed the measures before the council in a first reading today. Lots of folks are expected to be at today's city council meeting to talk about this proposal. A Shreveport man arrested in a domestic homicide. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Brandon McLaughlin has been arrested for allegedly shooting a man to death in Blanchard. According to the Caddo Sheriff's Office, James Gonyer and his girlfriend were arguing at their home during a party. The domestic disagreement allegedly angered McLaughlin, who grabbed a gun and fired several shots into a mattress to break up the argument. Gonyer and McLaughlin then allegedly got into a physical altercation that ended with Gonyer being shot and killed. McLaughlin has been arrested and charged with manslaughter. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The fetal heartbeat abortion bill is expected to be heard in the House today. Senator John Milkovich has proposed the bill. The governor says he will sign it, but there is a provision in Louisiana law that keeps it from going into effect until the Mississippi law is ruled constitutional. And now a federal judge has blocked that Mississippi law. Shreveport firefighter hurt battling a blaze. According to reports, the firefighter suffered first-degree burns to his hands and shoulder while grappling with a house fire on Grantberry Place. Firefighter's wounds are said to be minor. He is expected to make a full recovery. One of the persons in the home was also hurt, expected to be okay as well. 9 people arrested at a weekend checkpoint. Bossier deputies made contact with over 450 people while conducting a sobriety checkpoint on Old Minden Road. 6 were arrested for DWI, 3 others arrested for various charges, including drug possession and flight from an officer. President Trump gave a Memorial Day speech to U.S. and Japanese forces at a naval base in Japan. He says their alliance has done wonders for security.
Together, you're advancing freedom on the high seas, shielding our nation from dangerous weapons, and preserving the peace that generations of valiant American warriors gave their lives to secure.
President Trump has been on a state visit to Japan, where he became the first world leader to meet with Japan's new emperor. The president heads back to the U.S. today. 940 measles cases across the U.S. in 26 states. Louisiana is not on that list. Texas is. There were 60 new cases reported last week. Mega Millions jackpot for tonight up to $418 million. Powerball for tomorrow night, $325 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So you had a good time. You went Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get your crawfish ice cream that had been...
Saturday afternoon,
and
evening.
who made this for you? How was it done exactly?
I forget what booth was selling it, but it was like infused with crawfish flavors. Like you would get a sweet and salty ice cream kind of thing. And then it had a boiled crawfish on top.
Grr.
Good is right. Good is really right.
But on Friday, when you were talking about that, you seemed so enthused.
I was excited to taste it.
You seemed like, what an awesome idea. I can't wait, you said.
Yeah.
In fact, as I recall, and Parky, you weren't here, but as I recall, you were pounding your fist on the desk saying,
I wanted it.
I'm Erin McCarty, and I want crawfish ice cream.
Yeah, I did.
And then you had it, and on that 1 to 10 scale.
My son loved it. Yeah. He wolfed it down. He loved that stuff.
Yeah, probably on a bet.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. But, the crawfish was great. The music was great. I got to hear the crawfish calling contest, and it was incredible.
Do you have the audio from that woman's stellar performance?
I think I can
or
get it.
Are you working on it?
I think I can get it. If we'll have to play it for the next segment. You should have told me to cue it up here, and I could have queued it up.
Sorry.
But I could just let it roll from where it is. We might have it. You want to try?
No. Let's at least on the 1 to 10 scale. Speaking of 1 to 10 scales, have a production value of 3 to 4.
Well, let's let Matt get it then.
Hey,
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. You have to tell me about the Morganza Spillway when we get back.
Yeah.
And I saw a video this weekend. Well, I'll tell you what it was when we get back, but it does not bode well for the future of South Louisiana. Fletcher and Sports is on the way in a little bit. Right now, traffic update from Ruben.
Starting things off, looking pretty clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Line Avenue near Monrovia Street due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Keel app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Okay, so you found it, huh?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, this is
quick. It's quick.
So
I was down at Mudbug Madness, and I got lucky. I was there at the time for the crawfish calling contest.
How many contestants did?
10, 15, something like that.
Did you know, by the way, and
if I'd had one more beer, I'd have got up there. Because, I'm good at that crawfish calling stuff.
Yeah, we'd rather you skip it.
Yeah,
Not having had any beers this morning, let's assume you're not. I did see that they had, the beanbag, the cornhole.
Cornhole, yeah.
And first prize was like $1,000.
I know, it was big money.
Did the young lady who took home the crown, who took home the first place ribbon for the crawfish calling did she get $1,000?
She got a big trophy. Big trophy.
Rather have $1,000.
Yeah, she would have.
Okay,
I'm sure.
so
She tore the house down.
Really?
Yeah, she did. She took it down.
Let me turn my headphones down.
She didn't even get on stage because she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So they just brought the mic over to the side for her.
And she just
to do her crawfish calling.
Yeah.
And here's how it went.
369 crawfish drink wine. Crawfish chew tobacco on the streetcar line. The line broke. Crawfish got choked, and they all went to heaven in a little rope. Till all them crawfish come. Till all them crawfish come. Out there to the window.
She was incredible.
So that's worth I think that's $1,000 call right there.
Yeah, she should have won. I mean, she
Dear
should have won
Mudbug
some
Madness,
cash.
let's reallocate our funds.
Yeah, that was awesome. Well, the cornhole thing comes from that affiliated group. It doesn't come from Mudbug Madness money, FYI. I mean, yeah, it was a sanctioned event. They got to give out prizes.
It's on ESPN sometimes.
Yeah, it's a sport.
You want to see a bunch of guys who live in their mom's basement.
Man.
Jeez. Okay. So tell me about this Morganza spillway thing and what they're going to do and what it's going to alleviate and all of this kind of stuff.
Well, if you're familiar with the Atchafalaya Basin and you drive, I-10 or I-12, whatever it's called down there, the Morganza spillway opens up the floodgates in the Atchafalaya Basin, essentially. And it is going to be opened on June 2nd. It's only the third time in history that it's been opened.
Now, how many gates they're going to open? Did I see this right? They're going to open one of the gates of all of them, I guess. There's a whole bunch of different...
That's what it looks like. It's going to cause some flooding for other people. There's going to be
a lot of farmland, I saw.
There's concern for the seafood industry. There's a lot of concern that, that it does some damage when they do it. And that's the problem, but it will relieve flooding for lots of other folks. It will even relieve flooding, believe it or not, all the way up this way on the Red River, because our Red River eventually flows down there into some of those tributaries.
I watched a video this weekend and sent it out to a bunch of friends of mine. And I forget the guy's name. I apologize. He is a hydrologist, one of the New Orleans colleges, I believe, universities. And basically what he says is, and I want you to think about this in terms of our annual flooding problems, seemingly annual flooding difficulties up here. And what's the root of those? And basically he says, what this hydrologist, this South Louisiana guy, actually he is either Hawaiian or Japanese in origin. So he's either American or Japanese, duh. But the point being, he's saying it in that part of the state, with all the walls and the dams and the locks and the canals and the flood, whatever they've tried to do for more than 100 years to control the Mississippi River, it's all failing right now.
Right.
And that they are faced in that part of the state to a great degree the same problems, only on a much more massive scale than we're dealing with up here. And the one part of this video, it's about a 15-minute video, and it is extremely academic. I mean, I had to watch it like 2.5 times. And well, what is this guy talking about? What he says is that it is not a matter of if, but when the Mississippi River and the Atchafalaya become one.
That's a strong concern. It's a strong concern. I mean, they're
flooding
diverting water from the Mississippi into the Atchafalaya and the Morganza.
He says it's not a matter of if, but when the Mississippi reroutes itself and forms one river with the Atchafalaya.
Right.
And he says when that happens, he said just because of, in fact, it was, what did it say? that 15, the food you can carry on 15 Mississippi River barges is the equivalent of about 1,000 trucks. That's so much produce and good is barge trafficked on the Mississippi. And he said, when the Mississippi and the Atchafalaya, when everything that keeps them apart breaks down, he said the problem is, A, you've rerouted the entire river, and B, what happens is the waters will be too forceful and unpredictable for barge traffic.
Yes.
And he said the cost, not only in dollars, he said, but the potential food crisis for all the shipping that comes out of New Orleans, because for all intents and purposes, the river will no longer go to New Orleans.
Right. There's a piece today on WWL. Let me just read this last line, because this is really important to know. The current, and who knew it's been going on this long, the current 214-day flood fight on the lower Mississippi is historic and unprecedented. It's expected to surpass the 1973 event, which lasted 225 days.
And guess what they say? The biggest problem is the biggest cause of this in South Louisiana. Ready to ring a bell? Lack of dredging.
Yep. We need dredging.
1017 is very expensive. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update now from Ruben.
Looks like 3132's got it all clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near I-49 south due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
1017 FM, 710 Keel Weather Channel forecast sunny and warm today. Little bitty chance of rain late today, high today in the low 90s. Rain late today, high today in the low 90s.
With your money now, unlike the
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The NCAA unveiled their field of 64 for the College World Series pursuit. The LSU Tigers will be hosting a regional in Baton Rouge starting on Friday when they take on Stony Brook at 6 o'clock in Alex Box Stadium. Yes, Stony Brook, the team that beat LSU in the Super Regional back in 2012. They are back, though, as a 4 seed in this regional. Other squads making up the 4-team set. Southern Miss and Arizona State will start the regional Friday at high noon. Arizona State started the year by winning every game they played for a while, about 17 up, 17 down. They also come into this game, or this regional, leading the country with 92 home runs, and they also have 2 players nominated for the Golden Spikes Award. The Golden Eagles are making their 4th straight NCAA regional appearance. Former captain Shreve Gator standout Brant Bowen was named to the all-tournament team for Southern Miss in the Conference USA postseason soiree as a DH. Skylar Mays will return to LSU for his senior season of basketball. The Tigers' 3rd leading scorer last year was a first-team academic All-American. CBS Sports also reports that Marlon Taylor will also return, joining Javonte Smart back in Baton Rouge. Tremont Waters and Naz Reid both have announced they will not be returning. That leaves Emmett Williams as the lone player who had declared early for the draft, who has not made his intentions known ahead of tomorrow's deadline. In the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Boston scored 4 unanswered goals after falling behind 2-0 at home to claim a 4-2 win over the Blues to get Game 1 under their belts. Major League Baseball, the Astros beat the Cubs 6-5. Garrett Cole, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Yuli Gurriel, 3 hits. Alex Bregman, 2 hits for the Astros. And the Rangers fall to Seattle 6-2. Daniel Vogelbach hit a 3rd-decker home run for the Mariners in the win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. I took a look at your article on KeelNews.com.
Did you?
It's pretty awesome.
It was a good trip. It was fun.
So you went to Mississippi to Jerry Lee Lewis's house. They wouldn't let you in. Well, banging on the door, 8 beers in, going, "Killer, killer, it's me, Matt." Maybe I can see why they called the cops.
Well, I was just taking a page out of the Jerry Lee playbook, where he crashed into Elvis's gates at,
We've got
Graceland.
30 seconds. Tell the story.
Well, basically, Jerry wanted to say hello to Elvis with his new gun, supposedly, allegedly, was a little hammered, and during a surprise visit, didn't stop at the guard shack until he hit it, and his vehicle got stuck basically on top of the guard shack and the gates.
Was this in the 50s, in the 60s?
It wasn't too terribly long before Elvis died, so it was what, 70s?
70s, holy cow. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, here's Rush.
It was a coalition of environmentalist wackos. Last year, the Center for Biological Diversity, the Animal League Defense Fund, and the Defenders of Wildlife joined forces to oppose the border wall. Their lawsuit claimed that construction of the wall would harm plants, rare wildlife habitats, and coastal birds like the California gnatcatcher. A lawsuit also claimed that President Trump did not have the right to build the wall, despite a 1996 law giving the federal government authority to construct border walls and bypass environmental rules to get the job done. Now, back in February, an appeals court sided with the Trump administration. He could build the wall over the wackos' objections, and despite the California gnatcatcher. Well, this week, the Supreme Court weighed in by refusing to hear the case, meaning the appeals court decision siding with Trump stands. Now the only thing standing in the way of the wall is the money, the funding. And that problem could be rectified immediately if Republican gnatcatchers in Congress wanted it to happen. That's really what this is about. So keep a sharp eye. Did you know that there is a new victim of identity theft every 2 seconds? It means a criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, and even damaging your good credit, all without you even knowing. It's a good thing there's LifeLock identity theft protection. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. And if you do have an issue involving identity theft, one of LifeLock's identity restoration specialists is going to work with you to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but with LifeLock, you get identity theft protection and additional features to help protect your devices against cyber threats for as low as $9.99 a month. So visit lifelock.com now. Use promo code RUSH. Save an extra 10% off your first year. That's lifelock.com. And don't forget the name RUSH as the promo code.
Rush Limbaugh. Make him part of your busy day. You'll be smarter for it. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEELnews.com. KEELnews.com.
The intersection at North Market and North Hearn Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Oldmenden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. Just after 7 o'clock, it's Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Way down yonder at the other end of the gopher-shaped table. Erin has local news up next. What you got?
A killing in Blanchard on the holiday. We'll talk more about that. Also got to talk saggy britches again today. The city council meeting is this afternoon. That's coming up as well. And the latest on sports betting. Big vote today.
City council prognosticator Erin McCarty does this sort of head count in her own head and thinks she can predict whether the saggy pants ordinance will be repealed. And you have the actual ordinance in front of you, and there's some things about it you find very interesting.
Yeah, there really is.
Fletcher Sports, traffic, and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The fetal heartbeat abortion bill expected to be heard in the House today. Senator John Milkovich proposed the measure, but he says an amendment was tacked onto it that he's not in favor of.
Some people on the Senate side put an amendment on it that it would not go in effect until the Mississippi bill is cleared by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal, United States Court of Appeal. I was actually against that. I thought, let's put it into place now, and if we need to fight in federal court, we can spend, less than 0.01% of our state budget fighting it. I think it's worthy.
A federal judge has since blocked the Mississippi law, which means the Louisiana law cannot go into effect. Flood relief could be on the way for the entire state as the Army Corps of Engineers is set to open the Morganza Spillway. Governor John Bel Edwards says this will prevent backwater flooding for communities east of Morgan City.
The idea that we would put any additional water from backflooding into these areas of St. Martin and Assumption Parish and Terrebonne Parish, for example, we just don't want to take that chance.
This is only the third time in history and the first since 2011 the Morganza Spillway's been opened. A local man arrested in a domestic homicide. 19-year-old Brandon McLaughlin arrested for allegedly shooting a man to death in Blanchard. According to the Caddo Sheriff's Office, 21-year-old James Gonyer and his girlfriend were arguing during a party. The domestic disagreement allegedly angered McLaughlin, who got a gun and fired a shot into a mattress to break up that argument. Gonyer and McLaughlin then allegedly got into a physical altercation, which ended with Gonyer being shot and killed, McLaughlin facing manslaughter charges. A Senate-approved bill that would allow a parish-by-parish vote on the legalization of sports betting is to be heard in the House Appropriations Committee today. Metairie Senator Danny Martini says the best chance it has to pass the House this year is if the legislation does not include add-ons like allowing it at video poker locations. If special interests alter the bill in committee,
If it doesn't pass this year, I think we're sending a message to the gaming industry that we're willing to lag behind.
a companion bill to tax the activity proposes a 13% tax rate, which Martini says is about average. Shreveport firefighter hurt while battling a blaze on Grantberry Place. He is expected to be okay. 9 people arrested during a weekend checkpoint. Bossier deputies made contact with more than 450 people while conducting the sobriety checkpoint on Old Minden Road. 6 were arrested for DWI, 3 others arrested for various charges, including drug possession and flight from an officer. A push to repeal the saggy britches ordinance kicks off in high gear today. Matt Parker with that.
Shreveport City Councilwoman Lavette Fuller will officially start her push to repeal Shreveport's sagging pants ordinance. The ordinance will go through its first reading today, and a final vote is expected to come in 2 weeks. The proposal is expected to draw a large crowd both for and against keeping it on the books. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Louisiana's health department says they will now track all HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis C test results. The department says there's an overwhelming number of people who test positive for those diseases in the state and should be properly tracked. Officials say there are a lot of false negatives associated with those specific diseases, so to help reduce the spread of infections, they'll track all test results for at least 18 months. National Weather Service says there are more than 70,000 power outages across the state of Ohio, affecting more than 5 million people. Someone dropped off a grenade at a Florida Goodwill store. The grenade didn't get set off, but the find did set off some concern. The store was evacuated and the bomb squad dispatched. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update from Ruben. Here he is.
The intersection at North Market, North Hearn Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Oldman Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app is a free download again, presented by Office Furniture Source. So what happened Friday?
Friday, it was just
City
public
Council
comments, really.
work session.
Not a whole lot of comments from the council that I saw. I didn't watch the whole thing, though. So
It was called a work session. Did they do any work?
They listened to a lot of people. They put a lot of things on the agenda. They got, geared up for today's
So
meeting.
what was number one with a bullet, no pun intended?
Saggy britches. Yeah. Saggy
Matt
britches
won't call it that. What do you call it, Matt? I mean, saggy britches does sound a little bit adolescent.
Saggy pants.
Saggy
is what I've
pants.
been calling
Okay. The ordinance is section 50-167. It's titled "Wearing of Pants Below the Waist in Public."
Put into law in 2007 when Cedric Glover was mayor. The bill was introduced originally by Calvin Lester, who was a Shreveport City Councilman at that time.
It reads, "It shall be unlawful for any person to appear in public wearing pants below the waist which expose the skin or undergarments." Okay? Then here's the part that I'm
How many inches do you get? I'm not saying that to be funny. Is there like
which expose the skin or undergarments.
Okay.
If you see your skin or your undergarments.
So basically, then if you bend forward,
What if a woman's thong is exposed? How many citations have been written for that?
keep going.
Any violation of subsection shall be cited by the law enforcement officer by the issuance of a citation and summons to appear before a court of proper jurisdiction. And here's the part that I'm confused about. Shall itself not be grounds for an arrest or for a full search of the person cited. So the saggy pants is not grounds in and of itself for an arrest or a search of the person.
And you likened it to the original seatbelt law, where like, oh, by the way, you don't have your seatbelt. If
you get an extra ticket.
If you are stopped for something else, that in and of itself, that was not originally intended to be a reason to stop a vehicle.
It doesn't say you cannot stop them for just that. I want to make that clear. I was a little bit in error. It says it cannot be grounds for an arrest or a full search. So it can be grounds for a stop, give them a ticket. Stop, give you a ticket, a citation to appear in court. But during that stop, if you suspect another crime has occurred or might occur, that's when you can escalate to other police actions.
So what happened at the meeting on Friday?
Lots of public comments was the predominant, and I didn't hear one person say keep it on the books. Not one person.
What did
I don't believe.
Did
If I may have missed it.
What was the Vox Populi this time?
It's time to get rid of this ordinance. It's
Has it
it's
worked?
due.
It's
been
what was the
it's been
objection?
unfairly administered. That it's 98% of the cases, and in young people, 100% of the cases are African American men, and it's not fair.
Even though originally, 12 years ago or so, it was introduced into law to City Council by an African-American councilman and signed into law by an African-American mayor. And it just seems to me, so the objections, the en masse objections, the people that showed up at the City Council to voice their negative thoughts on the saggy pants ordinance just weren't around in 2007. Has the
I
tone,
don't know.
Has the opinion of the people of Shreveport, specifically the African American community, at whom so many people say this is aimed, has it changed in 12 years so drastically?
Well, the thing is, you're looking at the numbers now, where you've got the 700 citations, and the vast majority of them are young black men.
How did you not know that in 2007?
Well,
you had to know in 2007.
You had to know.
Of course.
You had to know.
So
You're
my
right about
question
that.
is, all these people that stood up and said, it's unfair, it's unconstitutional, and I can certainly make that argument and understand it. The point I'm making is, where were they 12 years ago?
Well, they weren't on the receiving end of it being enforced. Good idea. Let's make our young... Let me finish. Let's make our young African-American men look better. Let's not let them go out there and look like they're looking with these sagging pants.
And let's arrest them if they don't.
Well, no, they're not arresting them. They're just ticketing them.
Let's give them a citation if they don't.
Right. And, it's now the reality is hitting.
God, you talk about the school-to-prison pipeline. Talk about the target-to-prison pipeline. Oh, my God.
Yeah. You got a point. But how many thongs have you seen? women.
See,
They're not issuing those tickets.
I see the point you're making,
Mm-hmm.
but I go back to my original. You sent an email to the mayor.
Yeah.
Former Mayor Glover has been critical of this legislation in a very broad sense on social media. In other words, the Fuller bill. Let's get rid of the saggy pants ordinance.
Well, because he was mayor when it was enacted, and he apparently supported it because he didn't veto it.
But he hasn't said this time whether he's for or against. All he said publicly, at least everything I've seen, is don't we have better? So it's sort of
Wasn't that my first question to Miss Fuller? What on earth are we doing? Why are we concentrating on this right now when we have so many other fish to fry?
You got 7 smart people on the city council. At least I'd like to think so. Aren't they capable of multitasking? Seriously.
That's what she said. She said, I can do lots of things at the same time.
The point
this
is
going to pass unanimously. There's going to be nary a council member to vote against it. It's going to be lifted, and we're going to move on. And hopefully it can be quick, painless. We move on.
I think the white guys on the council will vote yes because they're afraid of being called racist if they
Absolutely. Absolutely.
don't. No matter how they feel about it.
No matter how they feel about it, no matter what the police chief got up and said that I want to keep, and he's not. I mean, he told us, was it Friday? He said, he's not going to get up and talk about it in terms of his opinion, whether it should stay on the
Erin
books or not.
McCarty says 7-0.
Unanimous.
7-0.
Whoever's there votes yes.
By the end of the day today, you can drop those pants mid-ass and walk around in all your glory.
No. It's got to lay over for 2 weeks. And then it's got to have the mayor's signature, and it takes a minute.
So you sent an email to the mayor.
I sent an email to the mayor. I want to know his opinion. Send me a statement how he feels about the repeal of this ban. I'm sure he supports it, but I would just like to know how the leader of our town feels about it.
Yes or no? You will hear from the mayor before, if it passes the council, he signs it into law. Nah. No.
No?
No.
Come on, Robert.
Lunch bet?
Yeah, I don't feel that way. I feel like he needs to come out and say, we don't need to be telling people how to dress.
Lunch
Simple,
bet?
end of statement.
Lunch bet?
Yeah, you're on.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Sports just ahead. Here's Ruben, traffic time.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway near Linwood Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
FM and 710 Keel Sports Time.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The NCAA unveiled their field of 64 for the College World Series pursuit. The LSU Tigers will be hosting a regional in Baton Rouge starting on Friday when they take on Stony Brook at 6 o'clock in Alec Box Stadium. Yes, Stony Brook, the team that beat LSU in the Super Regional back in 2012. They are back, though, as a 4 seed in this regional. Other squads making up the 4-team set. Southern Miss and Arizona State will start the regional Friday at high noon. Arizona State started the year by winning every game they played for a while, about 17 up, 17 down. They also come into this game, or this regional, leading the country with 92 home runs, and they also have 2 players nominated for the Golden Spikes Award. The Golden Eagles are making their 4th straight NCAA regional appearance. Former captain Shreve Gator standout Brant Bowen was named to the all-tournament team for Southern Miss in the Conference USA postseason soiree as a DH. Skylar Mays will return to LSU for his senior season of basketball. The Tigers' 3rd leading scorer last year was a first-team academic All-American. CBS Sports also reports that Marlon Taylor will also return, joining Javonte Smart back in Baton Rouge. Tremont Waters and Naz Reid both have announced they will not be returning. That leaves Emmett Williams as the lone player who had declared early for the draft, who has not made his intentions known ahead of tomorrow's deadline. In the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Boston scored 4 unanswered goals after falling behind 2-0 at home to claim a 4-2 win over the Blues to get Game 1 under their belts. Major League Baseball, the Astros beat the Cubs 6-5. Garrett Cole, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Yuli Gurriel, 3 hits. Alex Bregman, 2 hits for the Astros. And the Rangers fall to Seattle 6-2. Daniel Vogelbach hit a 3rd-decker home run for the Mariners in the win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. You were gone, last Thursday and Friday?
Mm-hmm.
And as usual, when you're gone, my friends and a number of regular listeners say, where's Matt? Is he on vacation? What did he do? And when I told them what you did, almost to the man, I'm not making this up, almost to the man, they looked at me and said, what did Matt do on vacation? And I told them, and they said, man, I'd love to be able to do that. And my first thought was, you can. Tell everybody what you did that all my friends are so jealous of.
I literally just drove around aimlessly through the South. I mean, I hit back roads in Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana,
he doesn't mean just
Tennessee.
going up like Southfield and Uri and doing the block around Happy Belly.
I did that too.
So where did you go? What did you do? And more important, what did you see?
Well, the main destination was Memphis because I love ribs and I love fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches. So that's where I headed just for that. That was my only goal in this trip. Everything else was
just
rendezvous. I did.
Oh,
God. Fantastic. Rendezvous.
Tell my boy hi.
I've never had rendezvous. I'll tell you that story in the next segment. Go ahead.
But I ate a lot, and while I was out and about, I started noticing something. The first thing I noticed while driving was that I heard a new Kenny Wayne Shepherd song on the radio. Well,
it's not really a new. It's a remix of or a remake of
Blue and Black, but
right.
But it's the #1 rock song in the country, and it's all over the radio. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Then I roll into Memphis and I go to eat, and on the radio or on the jukebox there's a Jerry Lee song, Jerry Lee Lewis, that was written by Jerry Kennedy, who's from Shreveport. And then I look behind the bar at the cafe, and there's a picture of James Burton and Elvis sitting on a couch. And then I go to a record store, and it's Eddie Giles on the radio. I mean, everywhere you look, there was just Shreveport music stuff. And then, I hit
you went to the Blues Hall of Fame.
The Blues Hall of Fame right there on Main Street. When you go down the stairs to go into the actual exhibit, the first thing you see is this huge picture of Leadbelly with his bow tie and some guitar picks.
Oh, my.
And then when you start looking around, you see all these mentions of KWKH and Stan Lewis and all these Shreveport things throughout the Blues Hall of Fame as you work your way through. I mean, it's just incredible.
And all these legendary blues guys that not only recorded here, but actually made their homes here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We had Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Uh-huh.
You had James Burton.
Yep.
Eddie Giles.
Mm-hmm.
What was the guy's name that wrote? What was his name?
Jerry Kennedy.
Jerry Kennedy, and there were Lowell Folsom.
Yep.
Folsom.
Folsom. The Blues Hall of Fame has a big display with his old guitar that he used. Probably the same one he recorded a bunch of stuff with Stan Lewis here in Shreveport.
That's the whole point. And as we have been able to narrow down, possibly in the old recording studio on Line Avenue that was kind of catty-corner to Burt High School.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that's just incredible.
Yeah.
We could have that here.
You know what you don't see around here? Pictures of Elvis and James Burton on the wall.
No, you don't.
I mean, you got the two statues tucked away by the municipal. You have their little museum thing inside the municipal that you can't really get to just anytime you want.
You got Leadbelly down on Texas Street.
And then you got Leadbelly. That's it.
That's it.
And most of them, if you're just driving by, don't really have any context or story. It's just, well, there's a statue of a black guy with a guitar. Or, wow, that kind of looks like Elvis. I mean, there's no real...
Do you know how many people come to this country and just go on an Elvis tour? Just go see things about Elvis? And how we could really market that if we really pushed it and did a whole big deal at Municipal where, I mean, there was a legitimate museum we marketed.
So you're starting the official fundraiser today, are you?
And Matt's going to be in charge.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Local news just a couple of seconds away. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Midway Avenue and Mansfield Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Industrial Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
Damage assessments ongoing near Dayton, Ohio after a large tornado touched down. An Ohio resident describes how his neighbors were affected.
Somebody's houses is entirely destroyed. Somebody's roof is gone. I heard the other neighbor upstairs, they were crying when they came in to check their house. I don't think so they can even live in that house.
About 5 million people in Ohio do not have power. The push to repeal the saggy britches ordinance kicks off today. The city council meets. Shreveport Councilwoman Lavette Fuller wants the ordinance repealed. The measures before the council in a first reading today. Lots of folks are expected to be at today's city council meeting to talk about this proposal. A Shreveport man arrested in a domestic homicide. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Brandon McLaughlin has been arrested for allegedly shooting a man to death in Blanchard. According to the Caddo Sheriff's Office, James Gagner and his girlfriend were arguing at their home during a party. The domestic disagreement allegedly angered McLaughlin, who grabbed a gun and fired several shots into a mattress to break up the argument. Gagner and McLaughlin then allegedly got into a physical altercation that ended with Gagner being shot and killed. McLaughlin has been arrested and charged with manslaughter. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The fetal heartbeat abortion bill is expected to be heard in the House today. Senator John Milkovich has proposed the bill. The governor says he will sign it, but there is a provision in Louisiana law that keeps it from going into effect until the Mississippi law is ruled constitutional. And now a federal judge has blocked that Mississippi law. Shreveport firefighter hurt battling a blaze. According to reports, the firefighter suffered first-degree burns to his hands and shoulder while grappling with a house fire on Grantberry Place. Firefighter's wounds are said to be minor. He is expected to make a full recovery. One of the persons in the home was also hurt, expected to be okay as well. 9 people arrested at a weekend checkpoint. Bossier deputies made contact with over 450 people while conducting a sobriety checkpoint on Old Minden Road. 6 were arrested for DWI, 3 others arrested for various charges, including drug possession and flight from an officer. President Trump gave a Memorial Day speech to U.S. and Japanese forces at a naval base in Japan. He says their alliance has done wonders for security.
Together, you are advancing freedom on the high seas, shielding our nation from dangerous weapons, and preserving the peace that generations of valiant American warriors gave their lives to secure.
President Trump has been on a state visit to Japan, where he became the first world leader to meet with Japan's new emperor. The president heads back to the U.S. today. 940 measles cases across the U.S. in 26 states. Louisiana is not on that list. Texas is. There were 60 new cases reported last week. Mega Millions jackpot for tonight up to $418 million. Powerball for tomorrow night, $325 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. I mentioned to Matt toward the end of the 6 o'clock hour. My face, I look like Joe Frazier after the Thriller in Manila.
No, you look like the guy in There's Something About Mary.
When
he gets...
Or Will Smith when, when he eats the shellfish or something.
And all your head's blowing up.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Okay. Evidently, when I went golfing yesterday, I had another run-in with a number of the, what are they called, the black fly gnats.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. How far away from each other do we sit?
8 feet.
8 feet. Okay. Can you see the one on my neck?
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
What was her name?
Can you see it?
Wow. Wow.
I know. It looked like a sprinkler head growing out of it. It's horrible looking. Okay, that's one. Okay, now look at the one on the
moly.
look at the one on the side of my
cheek.
Yeah. Oh God. Now this
You're
is
a goner.
the new. Look at the one on my forehead.
Yeah, I see that one.
And then I got one on my arm. So there's 4.
Were you on the African Queen this weekend?
No kidding.
Leeches.
Man. You know what? You wanted me to tell you something?
And so,
you will like this. Wait.
What?
You will like this. My father used to tell me, because I used to get bit by mosquitoes all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Shut up a minute.
Go ahead.
And my brothers would not get bit. I would get bit all up.
One on my neck, too.
And my father would say, they bite you because you're the sweet one.
That's with me, it's because I'm a very good dancer. The point being...
And have great nails.
You're not the sweet one, yeah.
Well, pedicure. Inside joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got one on
that looks like you got in a bad sexual encounter. It really does.
Are there really any bad?
You need to wear a scarf. You need a man scarf.
2, I need a turtleneck.
Yeah.
Come on, 2 right here on the Adam's apple. 3 below my right cheekbone.
Man.
And 4 on my forehead. And I this one was not there earlier this morning, but so they don't really blow up until you scratch them a little bit.
I might have some salve.
What?
I might have some salve.
Honey, you got a poultice? What, are you going to chew some tobacco for me? And,
I might have some salve.
Wrap it in some squirrel dung and a towel?
I don't know. We can get coffee grounds. That'll do it.
If anybody has any home remedies, because I left my Benadryl cream at the house.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I've been slathering my ears last week. First of all, they looked like I had bike reflectors stuck on the side of my head. They were so
Did you
red.
not put on some repellent of some sort?
Second of all, they eat repellent. They drink repellent like you drink bourbon.
Man.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So, and then I put the Benadryl cream on, and it looked like cake frosting on the side of my head.
God.
And it's just, oh God, I'm just itching like crazy.
Your neck is awful. I'm just seeing that. Leave it alone.
No,
don't touch it.
My cold fingers give me some relief.
Do not touch it. We can go get some salt. That might help.
Salt?
Salt might help.
Snails. I don't have snails on my neck. I have a welt with a T.
It's not a whelp.
From black fly gnats. So if anybody has any home remedies that we might have in the kitchen here, because I don't have time to go get Benadryl.
Can I take a picture of the one on your neck?
Sure, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on that.
Look like Mount Vesuvius.
Black fly gnat cures.
318-392-1884, the Shreveport Security Systems text
man.
line. All I want to do is scratch like Ben-Hur's sister. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. A lot of vague movie references in that segment, boy. Traffic update, here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Line Avenue near Kings Highway, and we're still looking at some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Industrial Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Once again, the Shreveport Security Systems text line, Home Remedies, 318-392-1884. You can see that one on. If I turn sideways, it looks like I have a third ear.
I'm telling you.
It's horrible.
You look like Frankenstein.
If I had one on the other side, if I was bilaterally symmetrical,
it would match.
It would look like a pipe in my neck.
It would.
You're absolutely right.
That's bad.
I saw something just before we start before we start the segment. I saw something this weekend, and I didn't know, and I just found it very interesting. You know what Kobe Bryant's middle name is? Legal middle name, like I baptized thee, Kobe. You know what his middle name is?
What?
Parky, any idea?
No clue.
Bean, B-E-A-N.
Kobe Bean?
Kobe Bean Bryant. I had no idea.
I wonder why.
Because his father's nickname when he played was Joe Jelly Bean Bryant. His father's nickname was Jelly Bean.
Huh.
So he named Kobe Bean Bryant.
All right.
I have, and I don't know how long it would take me to find it. It's somewhere here in the notebook, and it's an ever-growing list of all the things you have to be for if you're going to be a Democratic presidential nominee. And it started with open borders and complete single-payer government-run health care, unlimited abortion at any time, reparations for slavery, gun control, et cetera, et cetera. And one of those is the Green New Deal. Have you seen the latest? I don't want to say demand, but yeah, let's call it demand. Have you seen the latest idea to thwart the ravages of global warming by the political left? Ready?
No.
Now, I'm going to say this, and it's legit. And as I read it to you, I want you to think about the ramifications of what this would do to your life specifically, and to the life that you know, that your family knows, that we in America know. Experts say working a 9-hour work week.
9-hour work week?
Could be the key to saving us from global warming catastrophe. Left-leaning think tank Autonomy claims drastically shorter working weeks are necessary and perhaps the only solution to meet the greenhouse gas targets set by the United Nations. Research found that the switch to a 9-hour work week, their research has found that the switch to a 9-hour work week, when this dawns on you, what this would do to your life, you let me know. And we'll see if we're on the same.
It's dawned.
And we're on the same. And we'll see if we're anywhere near the same page. Their research shows that the switch to a 9-hour work week would keep the world on track to halting more than 2 degrees centigrade of global warming. I'm waiting for you to jump in. I want to know what you think. What was your first reaction to that?
Robert, if anybody really thinks that come on. A 9-hour
Erin,
work week.
you have a political party, the Democrat Party, that embraces infanticide, the murder of children. Why is this so radical to you?
That'll never happen. I watched that documentary, Knock Down the House, Alexandria, or what's her name?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Okay. It's this new Netflix documentary. It focuses on her and the others that are trying to
Green New Deal.
Turn this country, and
okay,
she's kind of nutty.
If you have a 9-hour work week, that this think tank, this left-leaning think tank that is embraced by the United Nations, they don't do these studies for free.
So what do you do the rest of the week? You stay home and you don't drive your car, so you don't contribute to pollution?
Let's not think about Erin.
How am I saving the world by not getting out to my job?
Let's not think about what Erin does.
Why don't we just let us all stay home and work?
Let's not think about what Erin does if she works a 9-hour work week, or Robert or Matt or 90% of the people listening, maybe 95% of the people listening, although they'd have to turn radio stations off. Let's think about the people who produce the food. as I've said before, and it goes back a long way, and it had to do with the Pope and his talking about the impending disaster that is global warming, and we had to move away from fossil fuels. And I said, so which of the harvesting machines that we in America use to not only feed Americans,
which one are we going to shut down?
But feed the world.
Turn that baby off.
Would you like us to shut down first? So when the Pope, and by the way, there's another article, Vatican calls for radical lifestyle changes to battle global warming. Oh, by the way, it's called global heating now.
Oh, is it?
Seriously, they've changed it again. So imagine if everybody that produces the food, just the food that we eat, were cut to a 9-hour work week. Basically, they're endorsing the starvation of citizens. They literally are saying
it's ridiculous, and I can't even imagine people are really talking about it.
Remember,
I really can't.
Let me say it once again. There's a political party, and they're called the Democrats.
Yeah.
And they endorse infanticide.
Right.
They endorse the right of a mother to murder her child. So when I say to you, they endorse...
That couldn't ever happen. This could never happen.
Okay.
Never, never, never.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Line Avenue near Kings Highway. And we're still looking at some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Industrial Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Keel Weather Channel forecast, sunny, small chance of rain today, high in the 90s. You noticed, Matt just noticed another bite I didn't even know I had.
Oh, boy.
Thought it was my Adam's apple. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The NCAA unveiled their field of 64 for the College World Series pursuit. The LSU Tigers will be hosting a regional in Baton Rouge starting on Friday when they take on Stony Brook at 6 o'clock in Alec Box Stadium. Yes, Stony Brook, the team that beat LSU in the Super Regional back in 2012. They are back, though, as a 4 seed in this regional. Other squads making up the 4-team set, Southern Miss and Arizona State will start the regional Friday at high noon. Arizona State started the year by winning every game they played for a while, about 17 up, 17 down. They also come into this game, or this regional, leading the country with 92 home runs, and they also have 2 players nominated for the Golden Spikes Award. The Golden Eagles are making their 4th straight NCAA regional appearance. Former captain Shreve Gator standout Brant Bowen was named to the all-tournament team for Southern Miss in the Conference USA postseason soiree as a DH. Skylar Mays will return to LSU for his senior season of basketball. The Tigers' 3rd leading scorer last year was a first-team academic All-American. CBS Sports also reports that Marlon Taylor will also return, joining Javonte Smart back in Baton Rouge. Tremont Waters and Naz Reid both have announced they will not be returning. That leaves Emmett Williams as the lone player who had declared early for the draft, who has not made his intentions known ahead of tomorrow's deadline. In the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Boston scored 4 unanswered goals after falling behind 2-0 at home to claim a 4-2 win over the Blues to get Game 1 under their belts. Major League Baseball, the Astros beat the Cubs 6-5. Garrett Cole, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Yuli Gurriel, 3 hits. Alex Bregman, 2 hits for the Astros. And the Rangers fall to Seattle 6-2. Daniel Vogelbach hit a third-decker home run for the Mariners in the win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
I forgot where I worked. 101. When's the last time you did that? 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. When you opened the mic and you started to say the wrong call letters.
It's been a while for me. It's been a long while.
Do you remember what station it was?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Well, you only worked at like a couple or 3 or
yeah, I'm not. I haven't been at a zillion.
Not like 40 stations.
Right,
like me. Holy
right,
cow.
exactly.
Somebody asked me this weekend. They said, "So, like, you worked in radio in Shreveport your whole life?" Not exactly. And I almost felt compelled. I thought about doing a Facebook post on my page about all the places. Not listing call letters because I don't remember.
Right.
That's how many radio stations I've worked at. I don't remember all the call letters.
Wow. You've been around the block.
But I've been here for the last 23. That's all that. I just front loaded all my crap.
Right.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Sean Hannity.
Now, here's the morning Sean Hannity update.
Let me go back to Slate for just a second here. I mean, them saying that Joe Biden is like a 2016 Jeb Bush, their words, not mine, and a weak establishment favorite whose time might be past. And should voters deprioritize his perceived strength and electability, he would soon face the wolves. The vetting he's going to get and face within his own party is going to be brutal. You know, his position on Anita Hill, that's why he went on the Anita Hill apology tour. His position on busing, his anti-busing rhetoric, most liberals find astonishing. Their words, not mine. Some of that rhetoric is all going to come back and haunt him.
Join Sean later today, right here on the Sean Hannity Show.
So with over 23 years online and more than 30,000 five-star customer reviews, Blinds.com is America's #1 online retailer for affordable custom window coverings. Now, every order gets free samples, free shipping, 100% satisfaction guarantee. So prepare for summer. This Memorial Day, go to Blinds.com to enjoy their lowest prices of the year. You're going to save up to 50% on everything. Plus, listeners, you're going to save an extra $20 with the promo code Hannity. That's Blinds.com, promo code Hannity. Rules, restrictions apply.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Jack. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Jack. That's 4hims.com/Jack.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Louisiana 2019 general
Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, way down there. Ms. Erin, local news in a second or two.
More violence in our community. A man dead in Blanchard. Another is in custody. We'll talk about that. Plus, the saggy britches ordinance is front and center again today. And the abortion bill in Louisiana. Big vote today expected on the House side.
Still mad about my busting a sagging a bus joke.
I really am.
Yeah.
I really am.
Because your friends told you to be mad.
Yeah.
I was talking about math.
Of course you were.
I promise. Would I lie about something like that?
Yeah.
How does the mayor feel about saggy pants?
Mm-hmm.
How does the council feel? Erin does a head count, so to speak.
Yep.
It's coming up just a couple of seconds away. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather. It's coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
A Shreveport man arrested in a domestic homicide. 19-year-old Brandon McLaughlin arrested for allegedly shooting a man to death in Blanchard. According to sheriff's deputies, James Gagner and his girlfriend were arguing at a home during a party. The domestic disagreement allegedly angered McLaughlin, who grabbed a gun, fired a shot into a mattress to break up the argument. Gagner and McLaughlin then allegedly got into a physical altercation that ended with Gagner being shot and killed. McLaughlin is now charged with manslaughter. Shreveport City Councilwoman Lavette Fuller will officially start her push to repeal Shreveport's sagging pants ordinance. It will go through its first reading today at the City Council. A final vote expected to come in 2 weeks. The proposal expected to draw a large crowd both for and against keeping it on the books. Webster Parish woman indicted for stealing from a summer feeding program. We get details from Matt Parker.
Myrna Quarles, former director of Greater Horizons Developmental Services, has been indicted by a federal grand jury for allegedly stealing more than $1 million from a summer feeding program for kids. According to U.S. Attorney David Joseph, Quarles inflated program numbers and moved large portions of the program's funds into personal accounts. Quarles faces more than 30 different charges that carry up to 20 years in prison each. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Senate has approved a bill that would allow a parish-by-parish vote on the legalization of sports betting. It will be heard today in the House Appropriations Committee. Currently, the bill calls for the activity at racetracks and casinos, but video poker interests are hoping to expand that. Metairie Senator Danny Martini says that can't happen.
We would have gone from 20 venues to 2,800 venues, which is not going to happen,
A companion bill to tax the activity proposes a 13% tax rate. The fetal heartbeat abortion bill is expected to be heard in the House today. Senator John Milkovich has proposed the bill. The governor says he will sign it, but there is a provision in Louisiana law that keeps it from going into effect until the Mississippi law is ruled constitutional. And now a federal judge has blocked that Mississippi law. Shreveport firefighter hurt battling a blaze. According to reports, the firefighter suffered first-degree burns to his hands and shoulder while grappling with a house fire on Grantberry Place. Someone in the home was also moderately hurt. Firefighter's wounds said to be minor. He is expected to make a full recovery. 9 people arrested at a weekend checkpoint. Bossier deputies made contact with over 450 people while conducting a sobriety checkpoint on Old Minden Road in Bossier. 6 people were arrested for DWI. 3 others arrested on various charges, including drug possession and flight from an officer. The Army Corps of Engineers announces it will open the Morganza Spillway in Point Capee Parish. Governor John Bell Edwards on why they need to open the floodway structure for the 3rd time in history and the first since 2011.
We've actually had more rain in the lower Mississippi Valley than they've ever recorded before, and we've had more days of the Mississippi River being at flood stage than ever before.
The governor is also requesting federal assistance due to the ongoing threat of flooding across the state. Louisiana's health department says they will now track all HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis C test results. The department says there's an overwhelming number of people who test positive for those diseases in the state and should be properly tracked. Another win for James Holzhauer on Jeopardy! He's now up to $2.1 million in just 28 days, about $325,000 shy of Ken Jennings, who got to more than $2.5 million in more than 70 days. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Tuesday traffic. Ruben's here.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
So at Friday's City Council work session, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So at Friday's City Council work session, was there anywhere near the same heated, I don't want to say vitriol, the same heated vitriol twice daily for your nerves? No, I was thinking of Geritol. So Friday at the City Council meeting, was there the heated back and forth over the saggy pants ordinance that there was, say, over the garbage fee?
No. Mr. Bradford had some comments that I'm going to break down and we'll have tomorrow, and maybe this afternoon too. But concerns about men who wear saggy pants, that they shouldn't do it.
What did they? So you think he may be a no vote
no,
on the repeal?
He's going to vote to repeal. They're going to all vote to repeal.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to all vote to repeal.
7-0.
I'll be shocked. It'd be 7-0. Yeah, I'd be shocked.
Why?
Because the numbers bear out that it's not being enforced. I mean, it's being enforced against black men, period.
How did that? You had to know that in 2007 when it was introduced by a black councilman and signed into law by a black mayor.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
So
But
has the zeitgeist?
do we need it? Do we need to be telling people how to dress?
Has the culture of Shreveport changed so much in 12 years that a dozen plus 2 years ago, great idea. I mean, obviously there was, I'm not going to say a cry within the African-American community, but it's not like all the people lined up to say, this is unconstitutional, this targets young black men, this is unfair.
I think at the time, Mr. Lester, Mr. Glover, and the others who supported this were simply trying to send a message to young black men. Stop this.
And so,
this doesn't look good. You don't look good doing this.
And has that changed? Suddenly, hey, that's snazzy.
Well, now you see the numbers.
Put a
You
jacket
see that
on with
700. You see that 700 people have been cited.
But they had to know that 12 years
and
ago.
You see see that that's been the primary reason young African American men have been stopped by police.
Who did they think? Okay, let me.
I understand. I know.
Who did they think originally was going to be
I
stopped?
don't know. I don't know when. And there was a little bit of an outcry back in 2007 when they enacted it. Back in 2007, I had kids in middle school, and a lot of the talk about it at the time, it was aimed at high school kids. Oh, these high school kids are sagging. When they leave Bird High or they leave Shreve or they leave BTW, they're sagging. We don't like to see that. The school had a dress code, but immediately when they got out of school, they'd be sagging. And I'm not trying to justify it back then. I don't think it was good then. I don't think it's good now.
So what's changed? What's changed within the community that a dozen years ago?
Well, the child's case, because he was killed, and the reason police stopped him or went after him was because he was sagging.
So who is making the connection?
Councilwoman Lavette Fuller has been involved in a lot of the community meetings with the Anthony Childs case, and she says this is one thing we can do to prevent something like this from happening again. If sagging was the reason he was stopped.
But he fired at police. But he took his own life. That's in the minds of many.
You need to clarify that, because he had one bullet in his gun. Okay?
That's a pretty big
He had
jump.
one bullet.
I know.
So did he fire at police? Did he shoot himself?
I know
you
the forensics say.
I understand. But be careful how you say it, because his shot himself. His shot wasn't at police.
Go ahead.
So that's the case that is bubbling this all up. And I had sent an email, and I did send it on Friday.
The attempt at logic here is that if this young man had not been wearing saggy pants, he wouldn't have been stopped by police and would be alive today.
Right. That's what some say.
And that beyond so in the minds
of many, if his pants had been pulled up, would he be alive today? Would he be dead? Would they
whatever interaction there was with police from that point on, it's not his fault.
No, I'm not saying that. Don't put those words in my mouth.
I'm not saying you're saying that. No. I'm saying, is that what folks are thinking?
Should he have had a gun? No. Should he have done what he did? No.
Didn't they find drugs on him too?
He did lots of things wrong. Absolutely, yes. But if you think in the big picture and you put yourself in his mother's shoes.
If we never pulled anybody over for speeding, then, I mean, you can take this to such
But
an
should we be
amazingly-
in the business of telling people how to wear their pants? Should we be telling people then why are there no why are there no citations for exposed thongs on white women who I see all over the place? The white women expose their thongs every day.
I go back to my original point.
Where's the tickets for that?
When this was introduced and passed in 2007, introduced by an African-American councilman and signed into law by an African-American mayor, they had to know that it wasn't going to target white girls with tight jeans.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They knew then who this was targeted, if you want to use that word.
Of course they did.
Then what's the difference?
But the ordinance is not written like that. The ordinance is written if your undergarment shows, you can be cited. We see thongs every day. And there have been no citations for that. So, you have to say, do we need it? Do we need this ordinance in place? They're going to vote this out. We just need to move on. And we don't need to be telling people how to dress. But I was curious about where our mayor is now about it. Does he support the repealing it?
You would send an email on...
I sent it Friday. I thought it was earlier than that, but I sent it Friday. And so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it was a holiday weekend. But
damn nice of you.
Yeah, but you said I would not hear anything. There'd be crickets.
Owe you lunch, don't I?
You owe me lunch. Yes, because that absolutely came up in the city council meeting, and here's how it went.
Mayor, what's your take on it? Where does the administration fall on repealing this?
We support it.
Okay, so you support repealing it?
Yes, and we've had conversations with multiple council members about it. Yeah.
Okay,
and I'm gonna be. I mean, and being frank, I just saw the numbers yesterday. You know, as Councilman Bradford pointed out about his agenda for the community, and I've talked about equitable growth from my inauguration speech to living rooms in your district, living rooms in each and every one of your district, and everybody was on board with it. And I'd never thought about the sagging pants, and I was pretty taken aback when I saw the numbers the other day for the arrest of African Americans. So I support it.
So he's on board. He supports overturning the ordinance, and it's going to be overturned. It doesn't get a final vote today. It's 2 weeks. It's got to lay over for 2 weeks. Then a final vote. Then his signature, probably a July 1.
Anybody standing up today and saying, you know what, 12 years ago it was a great idea, and this very body, although different members, voted in favor of it. Times have changed. It's got to go.
No, there's going to be nobody leading the charge for this today.
7-0. That's your prediction.
7-0. Yeah.
Double or nothing on lunch. I lost on the Adrian.
Yeah,
bet.
double or nothing. 7-0.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Sports just ahead. Here's Rube.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The NCAA unveiled their field of 64 for the College World Series pursuit. The LSU Tigers will be hosting a regional in Baton Rouge starting on Friday when they take on Stony Brook at 6 o'clock in Alec Box Stadium. Yes, Stony Brook, the team that beat LSU in the Super Regional back in 2012. They are back, though, as a 4 seed in this regional. Other squads making up the 4-team set, Southern Miss and Arizona State will start the regional Friday at high noon. Arizona State started the year by winning every game they played for a while, about 17 up, 17 down. They also come into this game, or this regional, leading the country with 92 home runs, and they also have 2 players nominated for the Golden Spikes Award. The Golden Eagles are making their 4th straight NCAA regional appearance. Former captain Shreve Gator standout Brant Bowen was named to the all-tournament team for Southern Miss in the Conference USA postseason soiree as a DH. Skylar Mays will return to LSU for his senior season of basketball. The Tigers' 3rd leading scorer last year was a first-team academic All-American. CBS Sports also reports that Marlon Taylor will also return, joining Javonte Smart back in Baton Rouge. Tremont Waters and Naz Reid both have announced they will not be returning. That leaves Emmett Williams as the lone player who had declared early for the draft, who has not made his intentions known ahead of tomorrow's deadline. In the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Boston scored 4 unanswered goals after falling behind 2-0 at home to claim a 4-2 win over the Blues to get Game 1 under their belts. Major League Baseball, the Astros beat the Cubs 6-5. Garrett Cole, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Yuli Gurriel, 3 hits. Alex Bregman, 2 hits for the Astros. And the Rangers fall to Seattle 6-2. Daniel Vogelbach hit a 3rd-decker home run for the Mariners in the win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.117 FM, 710 KEEL. Was that slurred a little bit? There's no reason. Did you do anything this weekend that, in retrospect, you wish you hadn't done?
Ooh,
Because,
yeah.
Crawfish ice cream?
Crawfish ice cream.
God, that sounds awful.
If I could take that back.
Last week, in this very room,
I drank a few too many beer, too.
In your very chair, you said, I, Erin McCarty, I demand crawfish ice cream. It's an idea whose time has come. And so somebody actually made you some, and what was it like?
It was nasty. It was nasty. It just had it had crawfish flavoring and vanilla ice cream.
It's called crawfish ice cream.
I know.
Okay,
I was expecting that sweet and salty, and you got the.
What's sweet about? God,
I know. I just wanted to try, but when they served it at Mudbug Madness, they put a whole boiled crawfish right on top.
Just like the nuts on a sundae.
Yeah, there's a crawfish sitting atop my ice cream.
You know what it reminded me of, and this was when you were first talking about it, and like what you thought it was going to be and what it turned out to be. It was, remember my story about trying the Frosty Paws frozen ice cream treat for dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like I saw it at the grocery store in the freezer section at Kroger when I still had the dogs. I didn't get rid of them. They passed away. They were old.
Right.
By the way, I saw a lady with a Yorkie this weekend. It was 2. And I said, I had a Yorkie look just like the blue and tan.
Mm-hmm.
and that was Gizmo. And I said he lived to be 19 years old, 19 years and 1 week.
Wow.
And I said, how old is your dog? She said 2. I said he could be around till 2037.
Man.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, no kidding.
So anyway, there was this stuff called Frosty Paws, the frozen treat for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And since they were spoiled.
Oh, they were spoiled rotten.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I went outdoors to pee.
Yeah.
So I got it for them, and I gave it to them, and they went insane.
Loved it.
They went insane. I mean, they were crazy.
Yeah.
They, cartoon noise dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would, and it came in, remember when we were kids, and I don't know if you're old enough, when they would give you ice cream at school for dessert, and it would be in the little, what were they called? Not Dixie cups. Was that what they were called? With the little wooden spoon was kind of glued at the top. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was the kind of little cup it came in. And I would put it in their bowl, and they would go insane. And when I would take the top off, I would smell it. And it smelled just like chocolate ice cream. And it looked just like chocolate ice cream. And they were going crazy. And I thought, if it looks like chocolate ice cream, and it tastes like chocolate, it must taste like chocolate ice cream.
You've got to try this.
So I dipped a little wooden spoon into it. It even came with a wooden spoon,
Yeah.
as though we're saying, little Bobby, have a bite.
Check it out. Yeah.
The next time you long for the taste of frozen horse,
Yeah.
that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Oh, why did they like it so much?
Because it was Frosty Paws.
I don't know.
And how do you know what frozen horse tastes like? That's what I want to
Yeah.
focus on. Let's drill down on that.
Mon Dieu, mon ami. I can't think of why.
Oh, my goodness.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has local news just a couple of seconds away. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
Damage assessments ongoing near Dayton, Ohio after a large tornado touched down. An Ohio resident describes how his neighbors were affected.
Somebody's houses is entirely destroyed. Somebody's roof is gone. I heard the other neighbor upstairs, they were crying when they came in to check their house. I don't think so they can even live in that house.
About 5 million people in Ohio do not have power. The push to repeal the saggy britches ordinance kicks off today. The city council meets. Shreveport Councilwoman Lavette Fuller wants the ordinance repealed. The measures before the council in a first reading today. Lots of folks are expected to be at today's city council meeting to talk about this proposal. A Shreveport man arrested in a domestic homicide. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Brandon McLaughlin has been arrested for allegedly shooting a man to death in Blanchard. According to the Caddo Sheriff's Office, James Gonyer and his girlfriend were arguing at their home during a party. The domestic disagreement allegedly angered McLaughlin, who grabbed a gun and fired several shots into a mattress to break up the argument. Gonyer and McLaughlin then allegedly got into a physical altercation that ended with Gonyer being shot and killed. McLaughlin has been arrested and charged with manslaughter. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The fetal heartbeat abortion bill is expected to be heard in the House today. Senator John Milkovich has proposed the bill. The governor says he will sign it, but there is a provision in Louisiana law that keeps it from going into effect until the Mississippi law is ruled constitutional. And now a federal judge has blocked that Mississippi law. Shreveport firefighter hurt battling a blaze. According to reports, the firefighter suffered first-degree burns to his hands and shoulder while grappling with a house fire on Grantberry Place. Firefighter's wounds are said to be minor. He is expected to make a full recovery. One of the persons in the home was also hurt, expected to be okay as well. 9 people arrested at a weekend checkpoint. Bossier deputies made contact with over 450 people while conducting a sobriety checkpoint on Old Minden Road. 6 were arrested for DWI, 3 others arrested for various charges, including drug possession and flight from an officer. President Trump gave a Memorial Day speech to U.S. and Japanese forces at a naval base in Japan. He says their alliance has done wonders for security.
Together, you are advancing freedom on the high seas, shielding our nation from dangerous weapons, and preserving the peace that generations of valiant American warriors gave their lives to secure.
President Trump has been on a state visit to Japan, where he became the first world leader to meet with Japan's new emperor. The president heads back to the U.S. today. 940 measles cases across the U.S. in 26 states. Louisiana is not on that list. Texas is. There were 60 new cases reported last week. Mega Millions jackpot for tonight up to $418 million. Powerball for tomorrow night, $325 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What?
Yeah, you know I'm obsessed with Mount Everest.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. I have Mount Everest on my neck.
You do. This is the time of year when everybody gets to the top of Mount Everest. May is the only time you can climb it.
Did you see that somebody died?
Another American.
Yeah.
62-year-old Chris Coolish. He's a lawyer from Denver. It's the second American to die. There have been 11 deaths this year, and it's because of the log jam of people. They get caught in that death zone trying to get up or get down, descend or ascend, and they're stuck.
Wait. So you've got all these people who are waiting to climb
There's
the mountain.
Traffic
and it's
jam.
Basically like trying to, like too many people on trying to wait for an elevator?
Yes, they're waiting in line to either go up or come back down, and then they're running out of oxygen, and they're getting, what is that high altitude sickness you get? And that's what's killing them. And they, when they die, they just leave their bodies on Mount Everest. And it'll
what?
They leave the bodies on Mount Everest. Yeah, they don't haul them down. That's where they're buried forever. And it's
what if they just bury them there? Is what you mean?
Well, they end up getting buried there by ice and snow. essentially.
So they just leave them on the surface?
Yeah, one I heard him last night talking about
So,
one.
like,
They tied his body to the rope, that everybody's using, and so everybody had to step over him to continue their venture.
Oh my God!
Up and down. I'm like, there'll be a body here. There'll be a body 100 yards away.
You're joking.
No, there's
it's like Omaha Beach on D-Day.
It changes every year because the snow covers them up. Yeah.
Oh my God! Seriously?
It's just, I'm astonished by. I mean, this was a 62-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating. That a lot of the folks that make it to the top of Mount Everest
Are so old?
are seniors.
Yeah.
I mean, you would consider a 62-year-old guy a senior. He climbed freaking Mount Everest.
Not all the way.
No, he made it. He was on the way down.
He was coming back down.
He was coming down.
God, that makes it worse.
Doesn't it? He's got the photos.
Oh my God.
His family has the photos of him making it to the top.
That's horrible.
And he's on the way down.
He made it.
And he got that, whatever it's called, that high altitude sickness because he's waiting in a traffic jam to get down. And I just think it's fascinating, all the older folks that get to the top.
Well, you're almost old enough to give it a shot.
No, that's one dream I could never do, but I love reading about it.
I was just reading. There are over 250 bodies on Mount Everest.
Oh yeah,
and most of them people use as like, oh, we're this far away from the summit. Like they use the bodies as like
markers.
Markers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're in the area where they call it the death zone, I think.
So basically, this is where Ed died, and Ed was 200 yards from the top, so
yeah.
we know.
If you make it to Ed, you're almost there.
Damn.
Yeah. It's astonishing. They sell the tickets to get to the
What, do
top.
they bury them up to their wrist and point their finger in the right direction?
I don't know.
I'm looking at the photos of people that just snapped them on their way up or down. They just leave them how they found them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They just, when you die, they just leave you there.
Are you going to haul somebody down? You're barely able to make it down yourself. Who's going to haul them down?
Look, I see your point. I just didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what they do. But they sell the passes to get to the top. The country of Nepal, it's a 10 grand permit. You have to pay 10 grand for the permit to get to the top. And so they're selling as many as they can.
Same as a Tesla in California. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update from Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm here today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures again reaching highs in the upper 80s. 74 tonight. Partly sunny skies and hot force on Wednesday. Low 90s expected tomorrow afternoon. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast both Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
I had absolutely no idea that when you died trying to climb Mount Everest, or in this poor guy's case, coming down, that they just left you there.
Yep. That's
like
what they do.
Like a mile marker. You Matt, just look that up again if you just missed it. That's unbelievable to me.
I'm looking at the traffic jam.
So what's in
the death zone?
Yeah.
And it is just...
What's it called when what ailment? It's not really.
They're calling it high altitude sickness. is what I'm seeing here. The site that I'm looking at.
Also known as freezing.
2 more Indian climbers died. An Austrian died. There have been 2 Americans.
Tenzing Norgay was the first guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who it was?
He was the first guy to get to the top.
Yeah, it was either
with what's his name?
This is basically how it worked. There was a white guy with him, and the white guy got all the credit.
Yeah, he did.
So, but his Sherpa guide was, I think his name was Tenzing Norgay, Norgay.
Right, and you may not remember, but a couple of years ago when we had, there was a boycott by the Sherpas because they had suffered some really horrible losses, and they were not being adequately compensated, so they skipped a season. And now they're saying that the skipping of that season may have contributed to the backlog this year because they backlogged everybody last year, and the backlog is just getting worse and worse.
In a total left turn here, I saw this commercial earlier this morning, and I wanted to mention it to you. Maybe you've seen it. It's basically false eyelashes for men. Have you seen that?
No.
No glue. I made some notes. No glue required. Reuse up to 30 times.
Why do men need false eyelashes?
I guess it's a trend. I don't know. It's like the return of glam rock, Mott the Hoople from the 70s.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. Would you ever consider wearing fake eyelashes?
No. I never say never. I mean, if she wanted me to.
You would do that for a woman?
It would have to be a totally heterosexual act, of course.
You would put on fake eyelashes for a woman?
Trust me, I've done dumber stuff than that.
Ooh, we might want to talk about that one day.
No. My God, look at the time. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Once again, taking a radically left turn. And this has to do with the saggy pants legislation, which in your mind will be overturned. So they won't vote today. Right? They will debate today. They will discuss today. But in your mind, in your thought, in 2 weeks when they vote, it's going to be 7-0. It's gone. It's history. Drop them drawers. No more hassles from the SPD.
Yes, I think it's a 7-0 unanimous vote to repeal the saggy pants ordinance.
We just spent a weekend, Shreveport Security Systems text line. We just spent a weekend observing and honoring men and women who died for our freedoms. And yes, that includes the freedom to bust a sag, or in Robert's terms, sag a bust. As much as I hate that specific fashion, I hate seeing a guy in a mullet and a wife beater too.
Yeah.
I was against the ordinance when it went in. Freedom. That is what we should think of in any law before it is passed.
Right.
Shreveport Security Systems text line.
You know, a lot of people have talked about, and I need to get out there and see and get out there more, because they've talked about a guy or some guys who run up and down Fairfield in these shorty shorts, and I've missed that. I need to get out there and see. They're like, if we're going to allow that,
it's basically just running
we
shorts.
Need to.
It's basically nothing more than Magnum PI shorts, if for lack of.
But are you seeing butt cheeks?
No,
you're not.
Look,
if they bend over, you have to see butt cheeks.
And no, because what they're talking about is running shorts basically that were the length from back in the 70s, which is about a 2-inch inseam, okay? But they also have a built-in brief. Running shorts, for the most part, like running shorts that runners wear, still have a built-in brief, so you can I mean,
but they've also talked about ladies who can get out of their car in their bikini and pump their gas, and that's perfectly legal. Is that if that's legal?
What direction are you going here? We know originally what the original saggy pants legislation in 1972, why it was passed, and whom it targeted. And that is, I would think, and from what I can cull from listening to Ms. Fuller, the numerous times she's been on discussing that topic, that's the objection today.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm asking once again, it's a rhetorical question or maybe not. If in 2007, when it was passed, introduced by a black councilman, Calvin Lester, signed into law by a black mayor, Cedric Glover, What was the difference in the culture in Shreveport in 2007 where it was such a good idea that all of the objections that people have today, nobody thought of or nobody cared about?
I think it was to send a message.
Let me say that again. That nobody thought of.
Right.
Or
they didn't think of the consequences.
Or nobody cared about.
Oh,
Wait
they
a second.
cared about
when
it.
you pass a law.
You can't say Calvin Lester and Cedric Glover didn't care about it. They didn't realize probably how it was going to be enforced.
So when that legislation was passed into law 12 years ago, a dozen years ago, it never occurred to anyone that it could increase the number of confrontations between police and young black men. If it was in fact passed to target, perhaps too strong a word, young black men, and you had to think it was, how could anyone think, if it's against the law, that the police wouldn't be involved? That doesn't make sense.
I'm going to be quite honest with you because I was here at the time. I think it was to send a message. It was to send a message to young high school kids. Don't bust a sag. Stop it. It looks awful. Stop it.
Never occurred to anybody
that it was going to be enforced.
It's a law. And in fact...
Yeah, it's a law, too, to not throw trash out of your window. How many trash tickets are written?
Chief Raymond told us last week that as long as it's on the books, as long that it will continue. He says, I have an opinion. I'm not going to voice it. But as long as it's on the books, we are going to continue to enforce that law and the laws that the city council passes and that the mayor signs. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Weather Channel forecast, kind of sunny and warm to say the least today. High today in the low 90s. It is 78 at Keel. 850 your money now.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
Yesterday was Memorial Day in America, and studies show that only 20% of Americans know the true meaning of the holiday, which is to remember the men and women who have died in America's wars. And while for many it also signals the unofficial beginning of the summer vacation season each year, not to mention crazy low sale prices on everything from mattresses to minivans, we must also remember and understand that freedom is not free.
that since our nation's founding, over 2.8 million soldiers have made the ultimate sacrifice in combat, or as Lincoln described it, the last full measure of devotion.
When we forget to remember the sacrifices made by others, we start to forget a little bit of what makes America great.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
You know, we talked a couple of segments ago. I said you're still mad at me about that sagging a busting a sag.
I
joke.
am.
Yeah.
I am.
Busting a sag. Somebody in this room is busting a sag. Somebody's sagging a bust.
Hey.
Yeah, okay, so you're still mad.
Yes.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Turnabout is fair play, as the saying goes.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt went to Memphis this past. You just got in the car and drove.
Yep.
Well, truck, actually. And you ended up in Memphis, among other places. You went to Rendezvous Ribs.
Love it.
About, God, it's more than 10 years ago, isn't it? She really did this.
I know.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, we got to talking about like Rendezvous Ribs in Memphis and how they're supposed to be legendary. And then I saw in basically the same story how they will ship them, put them on dry ice and ship them.
Yep.
And so Erin said, I bet you I can get free ribs from Charlie Virgo is the fella's name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Rendezvous Ribs in Memphis. And I said, fat chance, good luck. So she emails Rendezvous Ribs and specifically Charlie Virgo.
I got to Charlie, yeah.
And she sends him an email. The guy, the owner, the founder, the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "My name's Erin McCarty. We were on KVKI then. I'm from KVKI Radio in Shreveport, and we're having an on-air rib tasting contest." Which was a lie.
That was not a lie.
It was a lie.
I was tasting ribs around the city. I was going to write a post and then compare them to Rendezvous.
So this was a lie.
No, it was not a lie.
And she tells Charlie Virgo in this email that they're going to like have quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and
you are so exaggerating this.
And then compete.
You go ahead.
And then I am. And then compete against his ribs in the finals.
So we needed some of his ribs.
Could he send some ribs
to be shipped down here?
So he goes, hell yeah.
Yeah.
48 hours later, there's a great big styrofoam cooler in the lobby.
Yeah.
It's got like 3 slabs of ribs,
2,
some potato salad, some other accoutrement side dishes, a couple
barbecue sauce,
couple of t-shirts, and a hat.
There's a hat, chef's hat. Yeah.
Ask me what I got.
What'd you get out of that box?
I got the t-shirt. You took.
I gave you the hat too.
Somebody stole the hat. You took all the ribs.
I had teenage boys at the time.
You took all the ribs home.
I did.
I
was doing the taste test.
How did that contest end up, by the way?
Rendezvous won.
Because there's no contest.
Rendezvous won.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Yeah.
101.7 time to reinvigorate
yeah,
that.
We need a new contest.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Kim Commando.
We have a love-hate relationship with cable and satellite. We love only a handful of channels, but month after month, we pay for hundreds more. until one fine day you have the urge to cut the cable. There's just one little catch that the streaming companies don't want you to know. Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your online activity from hackers today and get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Let's say you made the decision to cut the cable. Step 1, put up an outside antenna to pick up the local free HD channels. And now things turn messy. You'll now need a new smart TV with built-in apps to get streaming programs, or you'll need to buy a streaming device. You'll want Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, and probably some way to rent movies, maybe an Apple TV. And before you know it, you're looking at streaming costs of $120 to maybe $140 a month. And those are the facts streaming companies don't want you to know. I'm Kim Commando. Dell Small Business Technology Advisors give you trusted advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions like computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, networking, plus thousands of top brand electronics, accessories, and software. No matter your technology needs, Dell is here to help your small business do big things. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
At Indeed, we believe a resume is a great way to see an overview of a candidate, but you're not hiring a resume, you're hiring a person. That's why Indeed offers tools that help bridge the gap between a candidate and the resume, like skill tests, which let you actually see a candidate's abilities in action to make sure they're a good fit for the job. See beyond the resume with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Hear those are good ribs. I wouldn't know. 101.7 FM, 710 Q Weather Channel forecast. Sunny, hot today, low 90s. It's 78 degrees at KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk. KEEL, 710 AM and K269GO, 101.7 FM, Shreveport.